comedian to open for Metallica?
Yes.
No,
And
what happened there?
well, it was the result of a prank phone call. The way it happened the first time was really a trip. I was in St. Louis, driving to go do his show, and I'd been hanging out with him on the air all week. And he'd been making fun of the new Metallica record every day, the Saint Anger record at the time. And I get to his studio, and on the way there, I hear that Lars Ulrich had heard that there was a guy in St. Louis ripping on the record, and he called him. He just cold called the guy and said, "Hey, man, so why are you making fun of my record, man? Huh?" And he goes, "Oh, dude, well, here's the reason." And they started having an on-air debate about it. Knowing that he had an exclusive, he kept Lars on the phone live for about an hour.
That's great.
No commercials, no music, and no delay. Mm-hmm. And Lars was cursing every 5 words. And so I get in the studio and I go, "Hey, dude, your show is going to end. Am I coming in or what?" And he goes, "I don't know how to get rid of this guy. I can't get him off the phone." So we have a discussion about how to get rid of Lars while Lars is on the air to St. Louis. And then finally my buddy goes, "Hey, okay, I know, but I know. That sounds great. Okay, let me just cut you off for 1 second. For those of you just joining the broadcast, we have Lars Ulrich on the phone from his house in San Francisco. And Lars, you're not going to believe this. We have a couple of guests in the studio, and he started waving me to the microphone, and I go, "I know." He goes, "We have Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss are in the studio, and apparently they're mad at you." And Lars goes, "Dude, is that really Lars? Is that Paul and Gene?" "Yeah, it is. Guys, say hi." "Hey, Lars, it's Paul Stanley, and this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. Now, I'm going to get right to the point, Lars. A lot of people steal from Kiss. You know it, I know it, and everybody knows it. But I think on the new Metallica record, I think you've gone a little too far. I'll give you a perfect example. Name one song on the new Metallica record that's totally original. One song, any song." And Lars goes, "Dude, I think most of the songs are pretty original. I don't. Right, but if you had to name one song, what song would it be? I guess if you had to pick one song, it'd probably be..." And he gave me a song title, and I said, "That's a great song, Lars, but I'm going to be honest with you. I liked it a lot better the first time I heard it when it was called Beth." And he goes, "What? How do you get Beth in the middle of a Metallica song? It doesn't even make any sense. What are you talking about?" And then he started debating on air for 5 minutes with a fake Paul Stanley and a fake Gene Simmons. And Christopher Walken is next door, and he wants to talk to you. "Do you mind talking to him for a minute?" "Is that really Christopher Walken?" "It is, Lars, and I'll tell you why I want to talk to you. It's because not only do I love Metallica, I love cocaine. And you guys go perfectly with cocaine." And then he started talking to Christopher Walken about cocaine and Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons about why they hated him. And then they said, Phil Anselmo is here from Pantera. "Yeah, that's right, brother. Hey, let me tell you something." And then they go, "Hey, Sam Kinison is here." And Lars goes, "Dude, didn't that guy die 10 years ago?" "Yeah, I did, buddy. But listen, I don't know if you remember this, but I actually left some blow at your house." "Oh, you jerk! Where is it?" And Lars goes, "Dude, how?" And they go, "Actually, it's a comedian. I'm sorry. His name's Craig." And they go, "Lars, I'm sorry. This wasn't my idea. He told me to do it. And I respect you, man. And please, I hope you have a sense of humor." And he goes, "Dude, are you going to be in St. Louis when we get there to do our show?" And I go, "No, I live in New York, so I'm not going to be here." And he goes, "Well, next time you come to a Metallica show, definitely look me up because I'd love to hang out with you sometime." And that alone was like, how cool is that? And I was like, "Thank you, man. That's so cool." He hangs up, and I'm like, "Oh, I got this great story with me now." A week later, Gary Dell'Abate, who's the producer of the show I was working at, comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Craig, it's Gary Dell'Abate. Listen, so I just got on the phone with a guy from Elektra Records, and apparently one of the guys in Metallica wants to get a hold of you. I don't know why. And I go, "Really? What happened?" And he said, I called this guy from Elektra Records, and the guy said, "Listen, I don't know who you are, but what are you doing next Friday?" And I said, "I'm going to visit my mom in Tucson." And he said, "All right, well, Lars wants to buy you a plane ticket, and he wants to fly you to Denver to do a radio show with him." He flew me out to be his co-host for this radio show.
Wow.
And the next day after we did the broadcast was the Metallica concert at the football stadium where the Broncos play. And we just started hanging out for a couple of weeks. And then they came to New York, and I called them up and I said, "Lars, if you guys had any balls when you get to New York, you would let a comedian open for Metallica." And he called me back. I still have the message on my voicemail. "Hey, man, it's Lars, and I talked to James and some of the other guys, and I know it always sounds like I have a cold, and yeah, you're all good to go do 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is you do, huh? So I go to do the show, and Lars comes into the morning show that I worked on, and announced that I was the opening act, and I said, I texted him and called him. I said, dude, could you not say that like there's a comedian on the show? And he goes, dude, you're overthinking it. I go, no, people are going to kill me. If they know, hey, did you hear a comedian's opening up? They're going to kill me. I lied to the audience and told them I worked for Metallica. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special evening with Metallica. My name is Craig Gass. I work for the band, and they have a couple of announcements for you tonight. You may not be aware of this, but the band is recording a live album tonight. So I need your attention. I need your attention. There is a proper way to yell on a live album. So we need to rehearse this. And the crowd followed all my instructions, and they got dumber and dumber.
You got them. Yeah.
And they followed me all the way through
That's very smart.
until the very end. Yeah, man.